Today I fucked up telling my dad about Tom. Throwaway account. TLR below. A week ago, a random homeless man waved at me when I, 18 male, was walking home from school with my friends. I did what I thought was the polite thing to do and waved back. As soon as the homeless man saw me wave, he yelled, "I banged your dad." My friends laughed. Feeling somewhat compelled to set the record straight, I yelled, "My dad's not gay, bro." The homeless man yelled, "Tell your dad Tom misses that Italian ass." One of my friends froze and said, "Dude, isn't your dad, like, Italian?" I was done communicating with the crazy homeless person and walked away without saying anything to anyone, not even my friends. Towards the end of the day, I decided to ask my dad if he knew a man named Tom. My dad narrowed his eyes and repeatedly said Tom, 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 like he was struggling to connect the dots. It seemed like my dad didn't know anyone named Tom, which was good enough for me. I was prepared to close the case and never mention you-know-who again, but then my mom appeared out of nowhere and reminded my dad that he used to work with a Tom. My dad awkwardly complimented my mom for having such a good memory at her age before confirming that he did indeed work with a Tom, but the two of them somehow lost contact when coworker Tom became unemployed Tom a few months ago. I said I might have seen Tom and I think he's homeless Tom now. My dad asked what prompted me to talk to a random stranger on the street. I said the random stranger targeted me and actually did most of the talking. My dad said from now on he's gonna drive me to school and pick me up. I said I preferred walking with my friends. My dad said he preferred keeping me safe. I said it was a homeless man, not Hannibal Lecter, but both my parents agreed that I was no longer walking to school. I said time out and asked my dad if he wanted to know what Tom said about him. My dad literally stopped blinking when he looked at me and said Tom's big mouth was the reason he got fired, so if it was the same Tom that spoke to me, then he would suggest that I do what Tom failed to do, which was to keep quiet. I got the sense that my dad wanted me to stop talking about Tom, so I did. The next morning my dad made me get in his car so he could drive me to school like he said he would. All I could do was sulk. As we were driving, my dad showed me a photo on his phone of a guy and asked if that was the homeless man I saw. Not the best picture quality, the photo was clearly cropped, but there he was, the clean-cut version of homeless Tom. I said that was the guy. My dad asked me what Tom said about him. Without going into detail, I said Tom missed him. My dad asked me to explain where I saw Tom. He said he was gonna check if Tom was still there and tell him never to bother me again. When my dad and I saw each other again, he was picking me up from school. He seemed a lot happier than when he dropped me off. My friends at school were convinced that Tom and my dad had an office romance that came to an end when Tom lost his job. The consensus was that my dad might allow homeless Tom to put his you-know-what in my dad's you-know-where as soon as the two of them saw each other again. I refused to believe what all my friends believed until I noticed my dad low-key blushing behind the wheel when I asked if he managed to find and confront Tom. My dad said there was no sign of Tom when he checked, but he promised to go back and check again. He was quick to change the subject and ask me about school, my friends, my GF, etc. A week ago, my dad preferred working from home because he could spend more time with me and my mom, but for the past couple of days he's apparently been spending most of his time at the office. Yesterday my mom found an unused condom in the laundry and assumed it was mine. I said the condom didn't belong to me, but my mom gave me the slow nod of mistrust before interrogating me about my non-existent sex life. Meanwhile, my dad had no idea what to tell my mom when she made him aware that some of his clean laundry had gone missing. Socks, underwear, gone. Something was going on. The unusually long hours at work, the mysterious condom, the missing laundry, all pointed towards someone who's not very good at covering their tracks. I get the feeling that the condom was for Tom, who is probably wearing my dad's missing socks and underwear. That being said, I have nothing to confirm that my dad is cheating on my mom with another man, but if he is, and the other guy ends up being Tom, then technically I'm responsible for potentially ruining a marriage by accidentally reuniting my possibly gay father with someone that was out of his life for good reason. TLR: a homeless man approached me on the street and said my dad, who is married to my mom, used to have sex with him. I informed my dad about the homeless man and now I think the two of them might be having sex. Again? Tell your dad you posted on Today I Fucked Up and when he asks what that stands for, say, Tom is fucking you. It's not your fault your closeted dad has both never taken the time to work out his own emotional state and is still, apparently, sexually attracted to an old coworker. None of that is on you. Though, it does make me question what old Tom was really fired for. Didn't used to be your dad's supervisor in some capacity, eh? So, not a plot from a Hallmark movie. Ah cool, he might become stepdad Tom. Of all the Today I Fucked Up posts I've read, this is definitely the most real and true one. Today I fucked up by accidentally saving video Snapchat of female ex-coworker. I'm stite male. The fuck up was actually 8 days ago. I was close work friends with said former coworker for 3 years. It was very much a get online and rant about work all day, every day. Occasionally, over the course of those 3 years we'd grab a drink after work, I mean like once every 4 months, so never a regular thing, and we'd hang out during the monthly work happy hour with others there once a month. Most of our talk was about work. I left the job 4 years ago and the friendship has naturally lessened over time. It got to point we'd occasionally text or Snapchat a few things, every other month or so. There was no regular schedule to it. Just randomly if something we knew about each other popped up in everyday life. 6 weeks ago it randomly came up that we both were getting into running, had exact same goal, started basically the same time, and were both currently at about the same time, distance. She responded, OMG, accountability buddies. I've been worried about falling off. Let's check in on runs. I responded sure. Since then, we each run about 3 days a week, send pics of stats of run, and sometimes it leads to small little convo about running and such. I run outside so send screenshot from my GPS app. She's currently on treadmill so sends pic of just treadmill stats. 8 days ago, for first time, she sent a quick vid of her smiling with thumbs up, then flipped video over to show treadmill stats. I think because it was a bit of a breakthrough as far as her runs. I couldn't see the numbers well and wanted to view them, so I tried to replay it. My phone wasn't registering my clicks, so I kept clicking to open, and I think it must have registered as what happens when you hold to save a message. I got a snap message saved notification. The snap wasn't ultra revealing, but in video you could see she was running in a sports bra. I thought, well, fuck. I tried explaining what happened and then made a joke about me being so goddamn old, fucking up Snapchat. She just responded, haha. I chalked it up as slightly embarrassing, but figured I had enough credit of not being a creep. Legit have zero romantic feelings for her. Since then, she sent 0 pics of her runs, by far longest gap, and has been very short with, nice, in response to the couple I've sent her. I'm probably officially in creep territory to her or something. Small possibility she just has fallen off of her goal somewhat, but guessing a hey why no more run pics thing isn't great move either lol. Alas. Too long did not read. Accidentally saved Snapchat video of female friend of 7 years in sports bra. She's mostly stopped communicating with me. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. The more you make a deal of it, the bigger a deal it will be. Send her a picture of yourself in a sports bra. Level the playing field. Whoops, didn't mean to save that, and unsave it. That's all you had to do. The end. I couldn't see the numbers well and wanted to view them. Suor, the numbers. Send her a pic of you in a sports bra. Today I fucked up by living out my gay fantasy. This one's a bit of a doozy really. My friend, 18M, and I, 18M, have been best mates since we were like 6. We used to do everything together and we've always been super close. For this reason he was the first, and so far only, person that I came out as gay to. When I told him it was all chill and he was super supportive, and then we stopped talking about it. A few days later I saw him again and he started asking me a bunch of questions about it, mostly just curiosity stuff, and eventually he'd ask me if I'd ever go for him. I said no because he's my best mate and he's got a girlfriend, who I am also close with, but he kept pressing me for a different answer. Eventually I said that if I knew a guy like him who I didn't think of as a brother and who was single, that I'd go for it. For the next few months he'd tease me relentlessly, and one night he brought it up when we were both super drunk. On that night I made the mistake of letting him kiss me, and the next morning we had to have a very awkward conversation about why it was wrong and how he has a girlfriend etc. Not a huge deal and we agreed to keep it a secret, but I still felt super duper shitty afterwards because I'm very close with his girlfriend. A couple weeks later he calls me saying they've broken up. Supposedly he told her that he's attracted to guys and girls and she asked for a break, which I thought was weird because she's always been super chill. I invited him over to have some drinks with me and just chat to try and feel better. Before long we were super drunk again and he opens up to me about how he's always had feelings for me deep down and he's just been trying to ignore them. The sad reality is that this is pretty much the truth for me as well. I've had feelings for him for a long time too. One thing leads to another and he started to kiss me again. At first I protested saying he just broke up and he doesn't know what he's doing. He pretty much just said he knows what he's doing and tells me to relax. I'm drunk enough to let that happen and the next thing you know I'm down on my knees living out my longest running fantasy. He spent the night, we got up to quite a bit of mischief and the next morning he left for work. I didn't hear from him much that night, but the very next night he texted me saying he and his girlfriend were back together and that what we did was a mistake. I reached out to her just to find out how things had been between them recently and she said they've been fine and asked me what was wrong. So now I have no idea if they ever even fought. I'm tossing up whether I should tell her what happened. I really want to because I like her and respect and I'm extremely pissed about the whole situation. But I'm also deep in the closet with a fairly conservative family in a very conservative area. As you can see I've put myself in a very tricky position. Too long did not read. Slept with my best mate when he broke up with his girlfriend. He got right back with his girlfriend and now I'm stuck in the closet unsure what to do. This is a friend who did this. Cheated on his girlfriend with his lifelong best friend, and lied to you both at the same time? Honestly, it sounds like he took advantage of you to fulfill his fantasy. He lied to both of you, that person is not a friend. He lied to you about being on a break with his girlfriend, fucked you, didn't think it went how he thought it could. While you're close friends with his girlfriend, who he lied about, and now you're expected to lie to her too. Sucks about your situation. I'd slowly distance yourself from him so he doesn't get upset about you breaking up with him friendship-wise and out you. I wouldn't engage with any of that going forward. Not worth the headache. Emo, this isn't your fuck up, homie. It's your friend. He betrayed your trust and cheated on his girlfriend. That's on him. Today I fucked up trying to watch a romance with my girlfriend only to traumatize us both. Last night my girlfriend and I sat down to watch a movie. I asked what she was in the mood for, and she said, something touching and sweet. Well, there's a movie I've wanted to watch since I saw the trailer. An A24 joint. But the kicker was that I had seen so many women's dating profiles over the years saying they're looking for their lobster. So let's take this opportunity to watch the 2015 film The Lobster. Cut to 2 hours of emotional dystopia, agonizing unsuccessful suicide attempt, a sweet dog kicked to death, a betrayal resulting in surgical blinding, a knife in the eye of another person, and the general sense of helplessness and hopelessness covering everything. Afterward, after sitting in silence for several minutes, I turned to ask her why the hell women liked this movie. I explained the lobster thing. And she explained that it's actually a Friends reference. Too long did not read. Showed my girlfriend the horribly bleak dark comedy The Lobster in an attempt to give her a sweet romantic story. It's okay to stop watching a movie. You should do Gone Girl next, it's the sweetest rom-com ever. I was having a bad day once and my husband out on a movie about elephants for me, since I love them so much. Turns out it was more like a documentary about how badly humans have been abusing and killing elephants. It did not make me feel better. I agree that movie is traumatizing. When you start it, it's just so interesting you don't realize how impactful it is. It's like a frog in water slowly heating to a boil. Gotta be careful with A24 lol. Should have watched Everything, Everywhere, All at Once instead.